How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at my H.P. Lovecraft movies directed by Stuart Gordon. Over his career, he made 4 H.P. Lovecraft movies and a TV episode based on H.P. Lovecraft. And there's also 2 sequels to Re-Animator, which he didn't direct, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at them because, we're taking a look at Re-Animator. Why not check those out? They're all very good movies, and I was very excited to do this list. Quite unfortunately, though, as I was doing research, I found out that Stuart Gordon actually died quite recently, just a couple months ago, and that is very sad. He's a great director, and I have several of his movies, not just the H.P. Lovecraft stuff. And anyway, I hope you're resting in peace, and yeah, it's very sad to learn of his passing. He did very good movies, and I'm very excited to show you guys this collection, and I guess we'll start off with the one he's most famous for, H.P. Lovecraft's Re-Animator. This movie stars Jeffrey Combs, who is a really fun, amazingly creepy, without even trying, actor, and he does all these great creepy or weird parts whenever they get him in a movie, and to get him playing this character, Dr. Herbert West, it is the character he's most known for, and that is with good reason. He is a creepy little doctor trying to bring things back to life. But yeah, you get Jeffrey Combs, you get his friend Dan Kane, played by Bruce Abbott, and his friend's girlfriend, played by Barbara Crampton. But yeah, he's working at Miskatonic University in Arkham, and he's trying to bring back dead tissue, and he has this experiment with his little glowing vial there, and he keeps bringing things back to life, and it keeps going horribly every time. This is kind of a zombie movie, not zombies in the traditional sense, but tons of reanimated corpses, and it's really fun. You get his nemesis, who's his fellow doctor there, and it is good, gory fun. It's not so much a comedy as, hey, let's tell jokes, but it's a comedy of, whoa, look how terrible and crazy this situation is. And it's really fun. Evil Dead 2 fans, probably worth looking in on this. But yeah, not like telling jokes funny, just situations. And this was, good, gory fun. I find that this is kind of just a little bit off the beaten path. I watched this when I was trying to watch all the classic horror movies I hadn't seen. You get things like Silence of the Lambs or Friday the 13th that everybody knows, but this kind of avoided getting too well known by the general public, probably because of all the gore. But horror fans know this, and to horror fans, this is a classic, and I would definitely recommend, if you're looking into movies that, aren't as well known, but still loved by the horror community, this is one of those movies you have to check out. But anyway, Re-Animator had 2 sequels, starting off with Bride of Re-Animator, directed by Brian Yuzna, and it takes place right after the first one. They're trying to bring a character back to life that died in the previous movie. And of course, the title is a parody of Bride of Frankenstein. The first movie kind of became a parody of Frankenstein. And the second movie, to keep that up, kept the title to the sequel of Frankenstein. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, it's Dr. Herbert West and Dan, and they're trying to make things better still, but of course, when bringing things back to life, you're it's like time travel. You can try to fix things and it messes it up more and more. It's a little bigger and a little wackier than the sequel. I mean, than the original, but it's still lots of fun. You know, not as good as the sequel, but they do more wacky and fun things. And if you like the characters and if you like the world and the tone, it's good to see it come back. But anyway, yeah, so this is a sequel, not as good as the original, but yeah, it's so fun and it's so cool to be back in the world of ReAnimator. And here's the disc for you guys, and then we're going to move on. This one came out a little bit after the first one, but then you get a really belated sequel, Beyond ReAnimator. And this one, after all the events of the first two movies, Dr. Herbert West has found himself in prison, which normally I don't like when they, you know, between long gaps in movies say, oh, the characters, you know, had a really bad time, but for Dr. Herbert West, it totally makes sense he would wind up there, and then plus, he's actually continuing his experiments in the prison, so I like that he's not just been inactive, you know, he's locked up, but he's still, you know, sneaking around and trying to do things. But you get this guy who shows up to be his new sidekick, who's wanting to learn from him and gets him kind of back in the game, and yeah, it's ReAnimator in a prison. It's not as good as the first two, but it's a lot better than I was expecting. I put off watching this movie for a while because I thought a belated sequel to ReAnimator, there's no way it's gonna be good. But they brought back the director of part 2, and it was actually pretty good. I remember watching it and thinking, wow, they brought it all back. I was so happy that they brought it all back, and I didn't think they could do that after such a delay between sequels. There's me and the disc probably. But yeah, ReAnimator 3, it was really good and fun. The weakest of the three, but it's still good, and I was really surprised because I was expecting it to be bad. Belated sequels usually are, but it was actually pretty fun. So now the second one, directed by Stuart Gordon, is From Beyond. So yeah, those two sequels to ReAnimator weren't Gordon. We're back to Gordon now. From Beyond, and this once again has Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton. ReAnimator is a kind of weird movie where it's part of two different trilogies. You get the ReAnimator trilogy, but you also get a trilogy of movies directed by Stuart Gordon, H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, and starring Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs. So you get three movies with those three elements. So it's two different trilogies. But From Beyond, you get Jeffrey Combs. He is a lab assistant. The original doctor was doing this experiment thinking that there are more aspects to this world than what we can see, and if he has this special machine that will allow him to see in the surrounding areas all the different things that are in this world that we have no idea that exist. But of course, if we can see them, then maybe they can see us. And it is a weird movie with creatures and body horror. So after the first doctor gets kind of pulled into the zone, a cop and this other lady, they come and they bring him back to investigate what's going on, and of course they fire up the machine again. It's really, really cool, and it doesn't get talked about as much as ReAnimator. ReAnimator is the better movie, but this is still fun, and if you're fans of ReAnimator and you haven't seen it, it's worth checking out. Not quite a classic, but you get to see Jeffrey Combs. He's playing a different character, but it's still a really fun one because, you know, he's bringing it to life. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. The third one is the one that gets kind of forgotten. This is Castle Freak, the full moon movie. This is loosely based on the H.P. Lovecraft story The Outsider, even though it's not really credited anywhere on the movie. But yeah, once again, you get Jeffrey Combs. He's actually married to Barbara Crampton in this movie, and her, and their kid, they go to this castle that he just inherited, but unfortunately in the bowels of the castle, there's this monster living there, and there's a secret with this monster that he has to find out, and it's really cool, a big gothic castle, not as extreme as the other two, but for a movie, a guy and this rival, and something lurking in the bowels of the castle. It's cool for what it is, but it is different. It's different and not as crazy and over the top as the other two. But hey, winner of the 1995 Fangoria Golden Chainsaw Award for Best Direct-to-Video Film. This is it's pretty fun. The weakest of that version of the trilogy, but still pretty fun and worth checking it out if you can. And hey, full moon fans, this is a full moon movie right there. So that's pretty cool. So those are those two trilogies, but Stuart Gordon actually did one more H.P. Lovecraft movie. This is Dagon, Gordon's best film since Re-Animator. Maybe, I don't know. But this is a really good movie. It adapts the H.P. Lovecraft story, Dagon, but mixes it with Shadow over Innsmouth. And you get this guy from Miskatonic University. He's on a boat with his girlfriend and a few friends. The boat crashes onto this mysterious, unknown island where everybody's worshiping a big fish guy, and it's a fun sneak around the island movie. It actually, way later, this movie Overlord would come out, and you got soldiers sneaking around a Nazi-occupied town, and it kind of felt like it had the same tone to me. But yeah, it's really cool, a creepy cult, an element of this haunted town that you don't even want them to know you're here. And this gets kind of, it's later on, so not as many people have seen this movie, but yeah, this is probably the second best Stuart Gordon H.P. Lovecraft movie, right after Re-Animator. This is also, remember, if you've seen my video where I did my cube collection, these Lionsgate discs that are like white with just the black title, this came out during that period, so that's kind of sad. But yeah, this is Dagon. It's a really fun, haunted, well, not haunted, but creepy monsters in the town movie, and it actually somewhat recently got a Blu-ray release, so if you want to pick up a better version of that, that's out there nowadays, and it's worth checking out if you guys missed it. But finally, we have Masters of Horror. This is a TV show that was an anthology show, and their thing was they would bring on different horror movie directors that were, classic horror directors, and they would often adapt things from classic horror movie writers. Not always, but a lot of times they would. And for one of their episodes, if we go up here, Stuart Gordon did Dreams in the Witch House. Not sure how well you can read that. But yeah, Stuart Gordon adapts H.P. Lovecraft's Dreams in the Witch House. And I have this full season set, and that is on disc 1 there. It was this fun story. This guy, he's working on finding cross points between parallel dimensions, and he happens to notice this weird structure in his walls that mimics the pattern he's working on, and he begins to suspect that in his room there's kind of a crossway between dimensions, and there's of course a a legend of an old witch and a mouse with a human face that are supposed to haunt his room. And this is fun. It's more along the lines of Castle Freak, where it's not as gory and over the top and crazy. It's more subdued and laid back. But it is fun and interesting. The mouse with the human face does suffer from the show's budget. This is Masters of Horror kind of has a pretty low budget, and a lot of them do suffer because of that. And yeah, a bit of that does suffer. It's an okay episode, but worth checking out, especially the Masters of Horror show. It's worth seeing what all these other directors are doing, and they do a whole lot of the Stuart Gordon for H.P. Lovecraft, here's another H.P. Lovecraft. They do that kind of deal on the show a lot. But anyway, that's my Stuart Gordon H.P. Lovecraft collection. I hope you guys enjoyed me taking a look at 7 different things there. It was really fun. I was glad to get around to doing this set. I do like 95% horror here, so if you guys want to hear about more horror movies, see more of my stuff, I would say that'd be really fun. So yeah, if you guys want to see more, stick around. To everyone who's watched this far, thank you for watching, and to everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really do help out this channel, and I'll see you guys all again very, very soon. Have a good day.